got some big news coming in. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury has tweeted saying, had Davinder Singh by default been Davinder Khan, the reaction of the troll regiment of the RSS would have been more strident and vociferous. Enemies of our country ought to be condemned, irrespective of colour, creed and religion. The chink in the armour is exposed in the valley, much to the consternation of us. We cannot afford ourselves to be penny-wise and posh, foolish. Now questions will certainly be arisen as to who were the real culprits behind the gruesome Pulwama incident. Need a fresh look on it. So that is a fresh controversy brewing over Davinder Singh, a police officer who was just arrested along with, recently arrested along with the terrorist of the Hizbul Mujahideen. He was a deputy SP, in fact a DSP rank officer. My colleague Pallavi Ghoshna joins me from the CNN News18 Twitter cam. Let's go across to her. Pallavi, Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury in a scathing attack against the RSS, now saying that if his name had been Davinder Khan, the reaction would have been very different. Walk us through his reaction.
Yes, and this is something which is really going to throw up yet another huge controversy. Remember, the Congress party has always been criticized for questioning, say, the Balakot airstrikes or Pulwama, asking for proof on surgical strikes. Just to go through Adhir Chowdhury's tweets, he said, and this he's talking in the context of the hashtag Davinder Singh, the IG Jammu and Kashmir, who has been arrested because he was accompanying a terrorist. And remember, he was also there in charge of those Pulwama operations. Now, I'm just going through the series of tweets of Adhir Chowdhury, who happens to be the leader of the Congress party in Lok Sabha. Had Davinder Singh by default been Davinder Khan, the reaction of troll regiment of RSS would have been more strident and vociferous. He then says a chink in the armour is exposed in the valley, much to the consternation of us. We cannot afford ourselves to be penny wise and pound foolish. But what's the worst part, Uday, is when he says that now question will certainly be arising as to who were the real culprits behind the gruesome Pulwama incident. We need a fresh look on it. See, on record, what the Congress party has been saying, and this is something which Randeep Surjewala also tweeted a couple of days back, is that the real story of Davinder Singh really needs to be probed. But what they did not want to comment was to raise question marks over the Pulwama incident and also the religion of Davinder Singh. That is something which, is something which usually discuss among ourselves or, off record, off camera. You do not put it in writing like this because you are the face of the Congress party, and this certainly snowballs into a huge controversy.
All right, we've also been joined by Arunima on the phone line. Let's go across to her. Arunima, this is the criticism that's coming in from several parts of the country, that just because he's Davinder Singh, he's being called a corrupt officer and not a terrorist or not a alleged or suspected terrorist. And that is something that Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury of the Congress has also said. He says if his name was Davinder Khan, the reaction would have been very different.
I think that criticism is unwarranted because the IG of Kashmir, when he did that press conference, he categorically said that Davinder Singh from here on would be treated as a terrorist. He actually spelled out the T word. So politically, if you want to hit out at the ruling party, that's a completely different issue. But as far as investigators go, they are treating him as a terrorist at the moment, and nobody less than the IG of Kashmir has come out and said that. Now, why is this becoming so controversial? Because of Davinder Singh's past. And I've spoken to a number of Jammu and Kashmir police officers who don't want to come on record but who are accepting that his past has been checkered. He's that kind of officer who would, really swing both ways. To gather information, he would hobnob with terrorists, but because in return he would get crucial intelligence for the security forces, that was allowed. Also, all the time that he got intelligence, he kept his seniors in the loop. In this case, what has happened is none of the seniors were in the loop. There was no authorization. He was in the anti-hijacking team at the moment when he was arrested. Earlier, he was with the Special Operations Group, where SOGs have authorization to, be part of operations, to cull out information. But as an anti-hijacking team member, he had no such authorization. And then this allegation, and I think this is what he has told interrogators, that he did this for money. So, all of this has made the Jammu and Kashmir police officers very upset. They do want to send a message that if there is a black sheep amongst their ranks, they want to, ensure that the black sheep is prosecuted. But Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury has now ensured that beyond investigation, this gets into the realm of politics, into the realm of tutu-meme between the ruling party and the opposition.
Right. So one bad apple doesn't mean the entire J&K police is corrupt. That's a very valid point there, Anuma. Pallavi, coming back to you, the third tweet really by Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury. All right, we've got Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury on the phone line. Let's go across to him. Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, is this not a comment that you should have been a little more careful about, especially since we're talking about the Pulwama terror attack in this case?
See, the fact is the arrest of Davinder Singh has a great implication on the entire security mechanism that has been existed in the valley. So my contention is that the involvement of DSP, the notorious DSP, Davinder Singh, may change the dynamics of investigation also. We have to ascertain whether any role has been played by that notorious police officer or not, so that we may get a fresh view of what actually had been transferred on that fateful day. This is my apprehension that has been expressed by me.
Adhir, the point are two issues over here. First of all, your party has already faced flack, it's been called anti-national because you're questioning the Pulwama strikes, you're questioning the surgical strikes, you question the Balakot airstrike. You've gone and done it again.
Pulwama
No, you
issue.
have. When you want,
the involvement, whether any kind of involvement of Davinder Singh may be honored or not.
Yes.
But
when you talk, but when you say
about,
but when you ask
Singh,
this question
Trojan
as to,
the Trojan horse remained, inside our security arrangement. So whether this kind of Trojan horses have, how this kind of Trojan horses have been allowed to remain in the security arrangement. So this is a moot point. It is not that Pulwama incident has been opposed or proposed. That is a different kettle of fish. My question is whether that notorious DSP Mr. Davinder Singh was involved in any way on Pulwama incident.
When you ask this question,
that also needs to be examined further.
But Adhir, when you ask this question at who were the real culprits behind the gruesome Pulwama incident, we know who were the culprits. Why you want a relook into that?
This person also may be added to it. Mr. Davinder Singh also could be added to it.
But now it gets worse because you say, when you say that if it had been...
police officer, this condemnable police officer, Mr. Davinder Singh, could be added to the list of those culprits.
Okay. Adhir, when you say... But Adhir, when you say had Davinder Singh by default...
to the list of the culprits.
No, but sir, so when you say...
The fresh examination need to be done in view of the fact that this kind of Trojan horse has been remaining in our forces. That is my question. That is the moot point of my argument.
Okay. When you say had Davinder Singh by default been Davinder Khan, now what are you trying to say? You are the leader of the party.
Because each and every time their ruling regimes, troll regime, they try to communalize each and every issue. That is why
you have invited troll. Why are you saying this?
We should be vociferous and strident against all kind of anti-national activities, irrespective of color, creed, religion.
But I hope you realized, Adhir, that you now have invited a lot of criticism for the BJP because you made it difficult for your own party because of Congress. Okay, we've also got Mr. Kajendra Gupta joining us on the phone line. Mr. Gupta, you know what Adhir Chowdhury has said is that we need to have a relook into the Pulwama incident because Davinder Singh's role and who were the real culprits behind the Pulwama strike. He's raked up this controversy once again. Okay, so Uday, whatever explanation Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury may come in, certainly this is a comment which could have been highly avoided for the sake of the Congress party, who are already facing flack in the context. And this is all happening in the midst of the elections in Delhi, mind you.
And, Pallavi, it's one thing to say that, okay, Davinder Singh will be treated differently from Davinder Khan, but to raise questions on Pulwama, really, that's going to be the big controversy, isn't it? It's that third tweet by Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury that the BJP is going to likely latch on to now.
Oh, yes, and can you blame them for that? I mean, the fact is that the Congress has tried to do a tremendous amount of damage control because they've been time and again accused of questioning the Pulwama attack, on who was behind it, defending Pakistan, and, you know, for example, on the Balakot airstrike, the surgical strikes and so on and so forth. And moving beyond
Pallavi,
elections
stay
in
with
Delhi.
us, Pallavi, stay with us. We have Mr. Davinder Gupta with us now, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Davinder Gupta जी, आपने सुना अधीर रंजन चौधरी जी का जो ट्वीट है, उन्होंने कहा है कि क्योंकि अब दविंदर सिंह का इसमें हाथ पाया गया है, पुलवामा आतंकवादी हमले पे जो है दोबारा एक तरह से विवेचना की जानी चाहिए। आपकी क्या इस पर प्रतिक्रिया रहेगी?
देखिए, बिल्कुल सरकार के लोग पहले भी जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस में मुझे लगता है काम करते रहे थे। पुलिस की ये सारी जांच की जानी चाहिए। आज भी बहुत से लोग ऐसे इन्वॉल्व हैं जो कि मिलिटेंट्स को कहीं ना कहीं शेल्टर देते हैं। उन्हीं के कारण से जब के हालात खराब हुए, और बिल्कुल ये जो इसमें कोई धर्म कोई भी देखना नहीं चाहिए। जो कल्पित पाए जाते हैं उनको सख्ती से निपटा जाना चाहिए और आगे से इस प्रकार की कोई घटना ना हो, इसके लिए इसको सुनिश्चित करना होगा। और केंद्र ने जो यहाँ पर पिछले दिनों ये जो सुरक्षा बलों के लोगों को थाने में लगाया था, दूसरे लोगों को जगह पर लगाया था, मुझे लगता है एक अच्छा कदम था। आज भी यहाँ पर इस तरह से जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के साथ दूसरे सुरक्षा बलों को लगाना होगा ताकि आइंदा इस प्रकार से कोई घटना ना हो। हालांकि जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस ने मिलिटेंसी में बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, लेकिन अभी भी जो इस प्रकार के लोग हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं उनकी छवि पर दाग लगाते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि सभी को देखते हुए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि जो 30 साल बाद थोड़ी शांति का माहौल बना है वो माहौल बना रहे, और इस प्रकार के लोगों के कारण से कभी भी कोई घटना को अंजाम दिया जा सकता है। मुझे लगता है कि ऐसे जो भी तत्व हैं उनकी स्क्रीनिंग करके उनको बाहर निकालना चाहिए।
जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका कविंदर जी हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। सो दैट वाज फॉर्मर डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ जम्मू एंड कश्मीर मिस्टर कविंदर गुप्ता टॉकिंग टू अस अबाउट हाउ द सिचुएशन इज डेवलपिंग, सिक्योरिटी सिचुएशन developing in Jammu and Kashmir. Let me go across now also to Mufti Isla, who's joining us from Srinagar on the phone line. He's our Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief. Mufti, this is now the latest controversy. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury of the Congress Party saying that we need to have a relook at Pulwama. This is going to cause a lot of controversy in Kashmir's political circles as well.
Well, absolutely, and this is not for the first time opposition Congress has said that to that effect. Now, clearly in this case, the case where he said that had he been Davinder Khan rather than Davinder Singh, but let me tell you that police had already from day one clarified that Davinder Singh would be treated as a terrorist, and that's how the IG of Kashmir, Vijay Kumar, had said on day one that they're going to investigate and really go to the bottom of this case. Also, when reporters put in a question that whether his role was also there to be found in Afzal Guru's case, because Afzal Guru in that letter had clearly written that it was Davinder Singh actually on whose behalf he was told that he should take that Pakistani militant to Delhi and arrange a car and a flat for him, which ultimately led to Parliament attack. Now, he did say, the IG did say that, well, we're going to probe that case also. Clearly, there's also chorus building in the country that this case should be shifted to NIA because police is not competent enough, and police will have, some of the friends who will perhaps urge police to go slow in this case. But the IG did say that, well, Jammu and Kashmir police was competent enough to deal with the case. So in this case, rather than, indulging in politics, the police has really said from the very outset that they're going to deal with this case professionally. Although Davinder Singh is a formerly, President Medal awardee, but clearly police have said that, well, we have been thinking of taking back that medal. That medal would be withdrawn, and we will start this investigation very professionally, as is the history of Jammu and Kashmir police. So no politics. The Jammu and Kashmir police will tell us that, the country should have enough faith in us, and we're going to deal with this case professionally. All
right, Mufti, stay on with us. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury defended his remark in an exclusive conversation with CNN NEWS18. Let's take a look. We've got Ranjan Chowdhury on the phone line. Let's go across to him. Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, is this not a comment that you should have been a little more careful about, especially since we're talking about the Pulwama terror attack in this case?
See, the fact is the arrest of Davinder Singh has a great implication on the entire security mechanism that has been existed in the valley. So my contention is that the involvement of DSP, the notorious DSP, Davinder Singh, may change the dynamics of investigation also. We have to ascertain whether any role has been played by that notorious police officer or not, so that we may get a fresh view of what actually had been transferred on that fateful day. This is my apprehension that has been expressed by me.
Adhir, the point are two issues over here. First of all, your party has already faced flack. It's been called anti-national because you're questioning the Pulwama strikes, you're questioning the surgical strikes, you question the Balakot airstrike. You've gone and done it again. No, you have. When you want,
whether any kind of involvement of Davinder Singh may be honored or not.
Yes.
But when you
ask this question as to
the Trojan horse remained, inside our security arrangement. So whether this kind of Trojan horses how this kind of Trojan horses have been allowed to remain in the security arrangement. So this is a moot point. It is not that Pulwama incident has been opposed or proposed. That is a different kettle of fish. My question is whether that notorious DSP Mr. Davinder Singh was involved in any way on Pulwama incident.
When you ask this question,
that also needs to be examined further.
But Adhir, when you ask this question at who were the real culprits behind the gruesome Pulwama incident, we know who were the culprits. Why you want a relook into that?
This person also may be added to it. Mr. Davinder Singh also could be added to it.
But now it gets worse because you say, when you say that if it had been...
This condemnable police officer, Mr. Davinder Singh, could be added to the list of those culprits.
Okay. Adhir, when you say... But Adhir, when you say had Davinder Singh by default...
to the list of the culprits.
No, but sir, when you say...
The fresh examination need to be done in view of the fact that this kind of Trojan horse has been remaining in our forces. That is my question. That is the moot point of my argument.
When you say had Davinder Singh by default been Davinder Khan, now what are you trying to say? You are the leader of the party.
Because each and every time their ruling regimes, troll regime, they try to communalize each and every issue. That is why
you have invited troll. Why are you saying this?
We should be vociferous and strident against all kind of anti-national activities, irrespective of color, creed, religion.